South American country rich in culture and history, but also mired in political and economic turmoil. There is also a dangerous virus outbreak threatening its population. It's the plot of a movie that's literally ripped from the headlines. The film was made last year in Venezuela. As correspondent Stephen Gibbs reports, the cast and crew dealt with real-life challenges mirrored in their movie.
A deserted highway outside the city of Maracay. This is the set of the movie Infection. It's one of just a handful of independent films being made in Venezuela this year. Flavio Pedota is the director.
Today we are in the day 33 of our shooting. A zombie road movie here in Venezuela. The rocket's gonna pass through you.
Making a film anywhere in the world is a laborious process. But here in Venezuela, there are additional challenges. One is that crime in this country is real, not fictional.
Of course, in Venezuela, one of the most biggest issues is the safety of the crew and the cast. But we have support from the local police that is with us most of the time. And thanks God that we had no trouble until now.
The chief cinematographer is Eduardo Ceveo. He's from Mexico.
We are working here with what we have to try to make a magic, which is this amazing film. All the people are really hard workers. Well, all the information is in the books, but the attitude this crew have, this is one of the best in the world. This is el Ronin de los pobres, güey. I think one of the most important parts of a road movie is the transformation of each character. And I think all the crew as well, we have done that transformation because this story also is an universal one. We are all involved on this story.
The actors are all Venezuelan, with one exception, the Australian Jenna Chanel.
I met Flavio in Los Angeles about 3 years ago, and so then he contacted me mid-year and asked if I would come over, and of course I said yes.
Did you hear a few horror stories about Venezuela before you came in?
When you hear other people talking about the dangers and how bad it is for a Westerner to a tourist or, you know, whoever to be in this country right now, yeah, I got a bit worried, but no, it's been amazing.
Hey. Bye.
There are like 50 plus people here and everybody's doing the most amazing job and everybody's doing their little bits to make sure the film is spectacular and it's looking really incredible. So I play a doctor who flies in from Switzerland to find out what's going on with this infection that's happening in Venezuela, and she discovers that it's an epidemic, and so then it's her job, along with some of the local doctors and scientists, to figure out how to fix, how to solve it, how to find a cure.
One constant challenge the filmmakers have to overcome is that this is a low-budget film in a country of shortages.
I guess all movies are difficult, but when you have low budget are more difficult, and when they're ambitious like this one, yeah, we've been affected with the situation of the country, of getting stuff, props, gear. They all comes from outside of the country, and they are in dollars, and they're very expensive, so we have to borrow things, and we try to figure out a way that do things without money, creatively. Yeah, very Venezuelan of us.
What there is plenty of here is enthusiastic and talented volunteers.
Es un proyecto independiente, no tiene ningún apoyo de instituciones, que bueno, se ha ido batallando con un equipo conformado, hecho con personas que no tienen gran experiencia tampoco en cine. Sin embargo, con la disposición del equipo, hemos respetado prácticamente el plan de rodaje de principio a fin.
Making a film in contemporary Venezuela is undoubtedly complicated, but there are some aspects of the current situation which make things simpler.
Los piecitos. Camina un poco más hacia atrás.
They are, after all, making a film about an apocalypse in a country which is itself in the midst of an economic crisis. In some ways, it's a pre-made film set.
For example, in this scene, we have a highway, right? It's supposed to be 10 days after the epidemic started, so we need abandoned cars. But we actually found those cars here inside the highway, and just we drag it to the highway and we will put it back when they were. That's something that you can find in Venezuela in a lot of places. Sometimes there's a lot of abandoned buildings or industries, so it helps a lot to the genre to make an apocalyptic movie. So that is why the script fit the locations.
This has also proved to be a remarkably prescient movie. It was filmed just as the Zika virus was entering Venezuela, but before that was known. Is there a message here? Is this all really a subtle commentary about contemporary Venezuela?
Politics, social, health issues could be interpreted in many ways. So I don't want to be the guy that tells you that what the film is about. I want people to explore it and have different interpretations of it.
This contagious thing, it happens in this movie. It's something we are living right now for many reasons. It's part of us, be against each other. So I think it's a really interesting way to say, using a cinema to tell the truth.
Lo que queremos es ir creciendo. Es preferible construir nosotros mismos el país que destruir nuestro país. La manera de construirlo es ir trabajando y nosotros, esta es nuestra profesión y esta es nuestra manera de trabajar. Hacer películas, hacer videos, hacer publicidades, contratar a todo este poco de gente, darle trabajo también. Eso es nuestra parte de agregar ese granito de arena para que bueno, si estamos viviendo una situación, ¿qué puedo hacer? Bueno, puedo trabajar. ¿Qué es lo que puedo hacer?
¡Ramírez! There's no films being made here. There's not many films being made. I think it's like 23 or it gets to 40 sometimes a year. And I think everybody, when they find out that you're making a film, everybody wants to collaborate, everybody's excited because they're making national films and everybody enjoy and embrace that idea. So we had that lucky. It was something, I can say, symbolic of doing my first film in my country. Started here with what I had. I learned from people that were always very creative with little things that they have that you don't find in other countries when they have a bunch of gear or a bunch of stuff. Here you have the opportunity to think a little beyond the common knowledge of filmmaking and experience different ways of doing it. And it's a wonderful experience. Yeah, I wanted to do it here in Venezuela, in South America. I want the Venezuela movie to grow.
And I think in many ways we have a lot of things in common. Mexicans and people from Venezuela. The way we make movies is a lot of passion. Everybody has something to say, and we use the scripts, we use the screen to say something else.
Many young Venezuelans that have the opportunity are leaving the country right now. This team says projects like this have convinced them to stay.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's what keeps people going. You know, I think people need hope and they need inspiration and they need dreams. I think Flavio's doing the most beautiful job in, you know, raising the energy and everything in this country, because it's not easy, and he's just doing an insane job.
It's hoped Infection, the movie, will be released in Venezuela next year.
Our thanks to Stephen Gibbs for that report. Infection, the movie, is scheduled to be released in Venezuela next year.